What's going on, guys and gals? It's Gaming for God coming at you with another update on my content creator journey. My hope in this series is to continue to give you the level of transparency to where you can decide for yourself whether content creation is for you, number one, and also when and if at the point at which I get to the point where I think I'm going to get to. That's a very complicated statement. But when and if I get to that high level of constant high viewership and those kinds of things, I want you guys to be able to look back through the series and go, wow, this is how he got to where he is. This is what he did differently. This is how he adjusted. I want you guys to see that, and I'm going to start talking to you guys about it right now.
Let my life be the proof of your love.
The second week of full-time content creation was on another level. We are consistently growing, and first of all, before we even get into the rest of this, I want to thank all of you here on YouTube. We had probably one of our biggest weeks on YouTube during the second week of content creation full-time. And the other thing I want to thank you guys for, especially if you're tuning in right now and you're from Twitch and you're like, I wonder what's going on, you decided to come on over here, check it out. Thank you for all of the growth on Twitch this week as well. It was insane. So as we usually like to do, we're going to go ahead and kick it off with the live stream statistics from our Twitch live streams. And these are really, really awesome. I'm glad to be able to share these with you because, as you'll find out, they prove a couple of my points that I really, really have been stressing. You know, I like to start on a positive note. The biggest stream last week took place on January the 9th, which was just a nuts stream. It was in the evening. Now, for those of you that weren't there for the stream, we were doing a very small, very low-key fundraiser. It's something that I'm doing 100%. I'm doing all the grunt work. I'm doing it literally 100% of it's on me. We called it Donuts for Cops, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide donuts and coffee to local police officers as a kind of a thank you for what they do. It was National Law Enforcement Day on the 9th, so that was what we decided to do as a community. One other thing I think is super important to mention about that stream is that I was super blessed. We had a stretch goal in my mind of $50 to go do this. You guys blew that out of the water. We raised $103 in 2 streams. Probably the weirdest way I've ever described to do 2. But all jokes aside, we really blew it out of the water. Thank you again for all of the support during that. And because I think of all the hype that built up around that crazy day, it was the evening stream. The morning stream is when we first started talking about it, and it gained momentum in the evening. But there were a couple other key factors to our viewership. Pastor Susie himself actually hosted me right about the midpoint of the stream, and I can definitely see from the graph, which I'm going to go ahead and include here in the video right over there, you will see that it is insane. It literally just boop, like straight through the roof right after the host. Thank you, Pastor Susie. If you guys haven't checked out any of Pastor Susie's content, I want to encourage you to do that. Twitch.tv/Pastor Susie. I'm going to include his link to his Twitch down in the description below so you guys can go check him out. Absolutely incredible commentator and really, really hilarious as a content creator. We were streaming 7 Days to Die, and I want to point out something that was super consistent between this week and last week. Last week's biggest stream, the one that we talked about in the last content creator journey video, also, I was playing 7 Days to Die. Now, I don't know if that's still the actual reason. I feel like there was some extra stuff that was going on. But the reason the viewership stayed after I got hosted, after everybody came by for the first stream that I was ever full-time, those 2 are my biggest streams so far. And I think the reason they stayed was because it wasn't Fortnite. It wasn't PUBG. It wasn't Blackout. It wasn't League of Legends. It wasn't Overwatch. It was a game that people had never seen before, and I am super enthusiastic about it when I'm streaming it. Now let me cut straight to the mustard. Our average viewership for a full 4-hour stream was 23, which is again a very, 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 very high viewership. It was just insane. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the smallest stream of the week, and we'll talk a little bit about this one. This one's a little unique. Our smallest stream of the week was January 7th from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., which is my morning stream. It was a Monday, and that's where things get a little tricky. I was streaming Minecraft, so that's a pretty decent game to be streaming as far as gathering viewership, but it seems like that time of day may not have been the best for growth. With that said, it was my very first Monday stream literally in 2 or 3 months. So with that said, I'm not really that surprised that it was a slower stream. Not too many people were expecting me to be live because that was way outside of my normal. I've never streamed a Monday. That's not really my thing because I used to have a full-time job where I didn't have the availability to do so. And my first full-time stream week, it started on a Wednesday. So Monday was our first one, so we had to kind of start somewhere, right? Now, to give you guys the perspective, the average viewership was 8, and that's actually lower than my average viewership overall for the last 30 days in a big way. The last 30 days we'll get to in a little bit, but it was a lot lower. So I got to watch those Mondays, maybe think about kicking them out, which may be coming down the pipe. Make sure you guys are subscribed. If you haven't already, make sure you click that red subscribe button for me and tick the bell next to it so you get notified when I talk about these kinds of things as far as my schedule here on YouTube as well as my live stream schedule on Twitch. The statistics update for the entire week from January the 6th until January the 12th, we had a viewer average of 15, which is insane because we actually increased by 4. We went from 11 to 15. That's a great increase. I'm super grateful for that. But again, remember earlier, that morning Monday that I streamed Minecraft, it was actually only 8, so I was almost half of the rest of the week's average viewership. So I've got to keep that in mind when I'm looking at these decisions going forward. Our sub count also increased, which obviously you guys know I'm not all about money, I'm not all about sub count, but I want to make sure we include that in these statistics because it is rather important to the grand scheme of things. We went to 45 subs instead of 40, which is what we had the prior week, which is insane because you have a lot of fluctuation in subs. That's just how it works. Twitch Prime, those kinds of things. Maybe somebody, just ends up broke one month. They can't pay the $5. I respect that. I'm never going to dog on you for that. With that said, we usually see a lot of influx. We didn't really see that. We maintained that 40, then spiked up to 5. It wasn't 5 gifted either. It was like a couple of days where we were just 2 and then 3, I believe, is how it continued to climb. Now, one thing I gotta mention that's kind of a bummer, but also kind of cool, it's kind of a bittersweet thing. Our followers did increase drastically. You guys know that I celebrated 500 followers this last week of streaming during that week, and during that, right at the beginning, we got follower and Viewbotted. Not because I asked anybody to, but because somebody decided that was something they wanted to do. Whether they were trying to troll or be polite, I have no idea. But I want to let you guys know, those of you that are watching right now, it's super important that you don't think this is a proper way to grow. It really is probably one of the biggest bummers for me. I actually tried to reach out to Twitch's support team on Twitter by tweeting at them and letting them know that I did not want the 300 followers that someone follow-botted on my channel. I didn't want them. I want genuine, real, tangible growth. I want to be impacting lives. My hope is that somehow because of that 300 follow increase that we will reach more people as a result of that. However, they can't do anything about it. They can't remove the follows or anything. They said as long as I didn't have anything to do with it, I may as well just move on and keep going forward. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose to look at it as a victory because we are really close to our next benchmark of followers, which is at 1,000 followers. Last I checked, we were at 850 plus now. So thank you all of you that have followed on Twitch. And if you haven't already, head over to twitch.tv for me really quick. Click the follow button for me. And hey, while you're there, if you feel so inclined, click that almighty subscribe button for me. Twitch Prime allows you to sub for free, so keep that in mind. And thank you for all of you that are already subbed. It means the world. Now, of course, the other part of my full-time content creation at this point is incorporating YouTube. As you guys know, you're literally watching this on YouTube, so you might assume I could be making some content on YouTube. And you would assume correctly. We had an amazing growth week for YouTube, and I want to thank all of you that are here right now because you've probably clicked the subscribe button, ticked the bell, the whole bit, and you're here, and I appreciate you. Again, positive note, we're going to start on my most popular video of the week is, guess what? This series' #1 video was my content creator journey, episode #1. I cannot express how excited that made me when I saw that, and I went, oh, I get to tell these guys in the second episode, the first one was our most viewed video. Thank you guys so much for enjoying this. I'm glad you enjoy this. I cannot express enough how much I enjoy making it. The watch time in just last week for that video, keep in mind this was only uploaded a few days before I record this video. Okay, keep that in mind. Just within that week, it counts from this prior Sunday, we upload them on Fridays, prior Sunday, all the way to Saturday. So in 2 days, it was our #1 viewed video with 100 viewer minutes. It is absolutely insane. The views it collected during that week were 16, which means to do the math out really quick here, we have to do some quick maths. David's not good at quick maths. That means that most people averaged about 4.5 to 5 minutes, rough math right off the bat. Is that right? That's not right. I got NA education. I'm not even gonna try and do the math. You do the math, roast me in the comments. I'll take it. I think that the biggest reason this video was viewed the most in that whole week, when it really didn't have the most time to gain the most traction during that week, was because of the content that it provides. It gives you a different perspective that not too many people are putting out on Twitch right now, and on YouTube, of course, here through a video format. I just think it really just is a whole different perspective into the content creator world. Now we're going to move on to our least popular video of the week, and this is going to prove the thing that I mentioned in this week's video log earlier. If you haven't checked that out, make sure you go ahead and do that. It was a very, very interesting time as I looked through it and realized that my top 5 clips and my Twitch highlight videos, even though I put just as much editing effort into those as I do into these, they don't get viewed as much. But honestly, I'm not that surprised. There's a reason that content creators that are just starting out don't do what I was doing, and I had to learn that the hard way, unfortunately. But I hope that by showing you this and expressing this to you, you will see it and go, wow, he wasn't kidding. This is not how anybody's gonna be able to grow. Our least popular video from last week was the top 5 clip compilation from the week that I uploaded it. It's not like one of the old ones that was multi-day last time, but last week's top 5 clip compilation was our least viewed video. It had 26 watch minutes rather than the 100. Keep in mind that's literally 26% of the top video. That's a huge gap. The views were a little bit higher. It was 18. The reason I think the views were just a teeny bit higher is because the video itself is actually a lot shorter, because it just doesn't need to be lengthy in order to be content in that category. People come to YouTube to see things that are unique. They come here to watch people talk about things or do really cool editing things that they haven't seen before. They want something unique, just like any other content platform. And YouTube's a little bit more picky about it, I think. I was discovering that. So they don't want to see a regurgitated video. They want to see a brand new concept, which is why this video series is being made. I do think it's important to mention that the second least viewed video of the week was my Twitch highlight. I know, shocker, but like I was saying, there's a reason I'm kicking those out, to alleviate myself a little bit, because they are not as fruitful as the rest of the videos I'm putting out. I'm really excited to see how much the YouTube channel continues to grow as we put out 3 videos per week, including this series, our Skyblock series on Wednesdays, as well as our video logs, which will continue to be uploaded on Monday, so make sure you're staying tuned for those. To give you guys a quick stats update from that entire week, it's really interesting to say that the view switched a little bit, like where the source of the views came from. Rather than primarily being from subs, it was just primarily browse features. I'm just realizing how that was almost like a rhyme. If we put like a trap beat over it, that'd be super sick. All jokes aside, serious, David, you gotta focus. But like, I really have had too much Red Bull today. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Like I was saying, 30% came from browse features, which I thought was really interesting. It flipped a little bit, and then our subs counted for 27% of the views. And honestly, I'm not sure that I have any feeling either way about that. I'm pretty neutral. I think it's really cool that our subs are continuing to watch the videos that I'm putting out, as well as the fact that there are other people who are discovering the channel and will inadvertently end up hearing about God's grace through it. I'm really, really, really pumped about that. Well, that's it. That's the end of today's video for the My Content Creator Journey series, episode 2. I would love to see you guys interact with me through social media. I have a Facebook, an Instagram, a Snapchat, as well as a Twitter. And I'm also part of a Discord. Like, you literally don't have any excuse if you want to get a hold of me. There's so many ways. The details for all of those things will be right underneath in the description below the video. As I've mentioned a couple times throughout this video, I am also live on Twitch currently about 40 hours a week, so make sure you head on over to twitch.tv/gaming4god. Drop a follow while you're there so you get notified when I go live on Twitch. And hey, while we're thinking about things that will notify you, click that big red subscribe button for me really, really quick. Takes 2 seconds. Tick the notification bell right next to it to get notified when my videos go live here on YouTube for you. And as always, make sure you smash that like button if you enjoyed today's My Content Creator Journey. Thank you for watching this week's video. I appreciate all of you guys. You guys are incredible. Okay, that was kind of weird, wasn't it? Was that too much? You guys are gonna have to just keep roasting me in the comments. You guys are probably keyboard warrioring like, Sorry, I'm on a whole other level today. But before I get too far ahead, this is Gaming for God, signing off.